Welcome back to another Reddit video. Let's see what we got. Current stars with classic championships, a threat. You know, I love random stuff like this. We have Ricky Saints with the classic United States Championship. You know, I actually love the current WWE United States Championship. I think it looks wonderful. Out of any new WWE Championship we got, I'm talking about the design, this is probably the only one that I actually prefer over the OG Championship. But this looks pretty good. I guess the new one looks a bit more, and it shouldn't, but it looks a bit more major, more like a world championship than this one, right? You know what, people? This goes hard. Absolutely love it. Why I can take him seriously as a world champion? Like, obviously, he's not one of these characters who's guaranteed to become a new WWE champion, a world champion in the WWE, right? But with this design, I actually kind of with that. Carmelo Hayes with the OG Intercontinental Championship. Might be a hot ass take, people. I believe this is the second best looking Intercontinental Championship. I love this design, probably mostly because I grew up watching WWE during this era, but obviously the best looking Intercontinental Championship is the white one. The classic championship with the white strap. Absolutely beautiful. But this looks better than the current one. I don't really that much with the current Intercontinental Championship. I think it looks odd, and in all fairness, it's really hard to beat these OG belts, so why change them? That is the question. Why change them? LA Knight with the Spinner Championship. You've been cursed. You know, over the years, another hot take. I'm ashamed of myself. I've realized I don't hate this championship that much. It's goofy. It's a John Cena championship. I get it. But nostalgia, man. Nostalgia sometimes just hits you hard. And LA Knight with that title kind of makes sense anyway. I can't explain, but it works with his character. It is one of the worst looking WWE titles of all time. I'm talking about the major World Heavyweight Championships. I guess it has the bare minimum of being creative. Now, Tiffany's trapping with the Divas Championship, my championship, it really works. That's kind of literally her gimmick, right? But I have a hot take. I don't want any more new championships in the WWE, but if we didn't have the WWE Women's United States Championship, Intercontinental Championship, I could actually see this working as a mid-card division title. Obviously, it's a bit too late right now, and would probably need a bit of a redesign because it is goofy. It's a freaking butterfly. But I get your idea. That said, I actually wish we got more. I love random stuff like this. Should Raquel win the WWE Women's World Championship? Okay, so can we just focus on something different right now? Are we not gonna talk about Triple H's hair? He is growing that hair. Will it grow to that point? I really hope so. I really hope so. To answer your question, yes, eventually. Not right now. Sure, she's great. I think it's gonna happen when she eventually turns on Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan is going to be a champion. Raquel perhaps wins the Royal Rumble. I have no idea, but she is going to be a WWE Women's World Champion. And a pretty good one at that, possibly. I mean, I can take her seriously as a champion. One of the toughest looking women in the WWE. But the long hair on Triple H, man, we gotta talk about it. I wanna ask him, what is the end goal? Is he gonna keep on growing it? If he wants to grow his Coco Jumbo, though, all he needs to do is smash that like button on the Great One's videos. Is this intentional? Okay, so that's why it's so familiar. One of the funniest wrestling segments of all time, Kane just crashing out, almost out of character. At one point, we thought he couldn't even speak. I'm loving the solo babyface run, man. You know, we didn't get anything that crazy, but I love the energy. It really fits his character. Jim Ross does not expect Vince McMahon to stay away from wrestling. Okay, come on. What could he possibly do? Will he end up in AEW? Sure as hell not. Can he come back to the WWE? I guess impossible as of now. I get Jim's message. That's all Vince McMahon knows and wants to do. Also, we gotta address the elephant in the room. How old is Vince McMahon? Over 80. Let's be realistic. Also, Vince doesn't really have that great of a reputation right now, so I don't know how many people would actually tune in. Well, people would tune in for the first episode, that's for sure. Name a bigger downgrade. Well, I guess Universal Championship doesn't count, right? I think you kinda nailed it. I don't even hate the current WWE Championship that much anymore. I got used to it. You know, it's the same championship we had for like, what, since 2015 or 14? Different versions of it, of course, but my biggest issue with it is that I don't believe WWE title design is ever going to change because they feel like they nailed it. It's a WWE logo. It's as corporate as it gets, and that's exactly what WWE wants. Thoughts? Rusev, seemingly unhappy after a loss, immediately got up and walked at the back after losing. So what you're trying to tell me is that he took the pin and immediately just walked off? That could indicate that sure, there are some problems. He's unhappy if he no-sold the finish, right? Or it could just be Rusev's character. He's a strong guy who got beat by his smaller dude, so he lost, but he's still able to walk. I have no idea, but he has taken a lot of L's. He keeps tapping out to Chad Gable, he keeps losing matches. Yeah, this run is not really working out as much as I thought it. Well, honestly, I wasn't really expecting much in the first place. What you gonna do, brother? Okay, I love these kind of posts. Let's see what we got. Funny
Booker T, you got a minute? Oh man, if you're here because you think I had anything to do with taking out SmackDown's general manager, you're wasting your time, dog. Well, I just wanted to ask you a couple quick questions, brother.
Why is he talking like that?
What happened to Theodore Long? You didn't say that. Tell me you didn't just say that. Look, Book, I'm only trying to... I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to accuse me of running down T-Lo in the parking garage, right? I'm not accusing anyone of anything until I got proof.
Why is he not saying brother? Until I got the proof, brother. I love how he's talking in character. I've seen so many clips of him talking like a real person, obviously the recent documentary. Sometimes you forget the character voice.
I got to say, you seem a little defensive. I don't see no badge, so I got no idea why you think you got the right to play detective. I'm the 5-time WCW champion.
It's so hilarious because they're both so expressive.
And I ain't answering no questions from some punk-ass fool who don't respect that. You want answers? You beat me in the ring tonight, and maybe you'll get some. Now can you dig that? Sucker.
I really thought he's about to drop the "I'm coming for you" line. Man, I miss when wrestling games were fun and actually good, and there was love put into these games and not just some scam. You know what's the last time I played WWE 2K26? The week after it was released, probably. I just stopped. Grinding for shit you paid for is absolutely stupid. If I'm Bailey, what are my initiatives for re-signing with WWE? I would say probably money, but even with that, we heard about the recent cuts, right? There are rumors of her going to AEW. I think Sasha Banks said something about that, Mercedes Moné. And that's what's so good about the current landscape of professional wrestling. AEW can pay you shitloads of money too. Sometimes probably even more. Baron Corbin SummerSlam history. Okay, that John Cena match, that was pretty ass. I remember that. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. Corbin's probably worst character. Don't remember that at all. Not one bit. Big E versus Baron Corbin. Don't remember that one bit too. I think he stole that briefcase. I remember from who. I think he did. Pat McAfee versus Corbin. That was more of a, oh my god, Pat McAfee can actually do cool shit type of match. I do remember this one. And of course, the upcoming one is against Trick Williams, which is definitely going to be the best match. I'm pretty sure about that. You can kinda tell the biggest problem with Baron Corbin was the amount of stupid ass gimmicks, right? Give Ilya a mask and put him in AAA, this will probably save his career. Depends on the way you look at it. For AAA, sure. Even then, does he need the mask? But he's very good with facial expressions. I don't necessarily believe he should wear a mask on SmackDown. The bigger question I have, the bigger worry I have, why is he not on television? Why is he not on television? He's one of these guys who, even if he doesn't have a storyline, he's just simply entertaining to watch. Imagine if instead of Corbin versus Trick Williams, we got Ilya versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Sometimes it just... I know it's not as easy to book the WWE as we all believe. We're all great bookers. But sometimes they do make it look easy, right? Which world title got the best upgrade? I don't know about that, people. That TNA championship looks pretty nice. I love the AEW title, but it's not an upgrade. It's the same championship, I believe. How is it any different? But I'll tell you this. The fact that IWGP Championship went from one of the greatest looking wrestling championships of all time, kind of looks like the AEW title, I can see where they took inspiration from, went to this Butterfly Divas Championship looking shit. It's a tragedy. It's a crime. How? Why? That time AJ Styles brought a black swoosh WWE Championship on SmackDown. I remember talking about this in one of my Reddit videos like 5 years ago probably, and I thought, why? What was the reason? I remember noticing that, and I thought, this is a change. It's an interesting change. AJ Styles actually explained why. He has no idea. He just took one of the belts, and it had a black swoosh. That's about it. That's the story. I really thought WWE were just testing a brand new title. I don't hate it. I don't know why. It doesn't look better. I don't hate it. New SmackDown GM, who you picking, brother? I think it's always nice seeing a former professional wrestler as a general manager, seeing them on television. You know, the way we saw Daniel Bryan, Mick Foley, Shane McMahon, and all of these guys, right, over the years. I think John Cena, I don't know. Maybe Interesting. Obviously, that would be great, but people would just be talking about last match and all of that shit, chanting for one more match. AJ Styles, I think that would work. I would love to see that. Trish Stratus, sure. Big E, absolutely. Maybe he should be, since his WWE career, wrestling career, is unfortunately over. Big E is great on the microphone. Paul Heyman, sure, but he has other things going on, and Vince McMahon is a bit of a sneak right here. Out of these, I would pick maybe Big E. I kind of think that makes the most sense. But people, thank you for watching this video. Appreciate your time. Post on my Reddit and you'll see a lot of Reddit videos. The great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.